Aloha everybody and welcome to part 2 of Sonic Rivals. What we're looking at right now is actually the ending cutscene of the Egg Turtle fight if you're playing as Shadow and or Knuckles. I didn't show it before because, well, I was playing as Sonic and Silver for Colosseum Highway Act 1, but since we're moving on to Colosseum Highway Act 2 to play as Knuckles this time around, I figured I'd insert it here. You know, just to make sure this playthrough doesn't get too chat-heavy. A lot of text boxes, a lot of still pictures that you have to watch because, you know, no voice acting, no actual cutscenes. It's a handheld game, you know. Also, Shadow apparently thinks Knuckles is an idiot.
Shut up!
Hey, his words, not mine, man. His words. And apparently Rouge the Bat knows something about Dr. Eggman. There's something going on with Eggman. He sends a transmission to Shadow to find him, and then when Shadow confronts him, he doesn't know what he's talking about? What's that all about? The plot's not important, but you know. Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, we are now playing as Knuckles the Echidna. And again, if you're familiar with Knuckles from Sonic 3 and Knuckles, he has two very characteristic abilities. The ability to glide, the ability to climb walls. And if you've played Sonic Rivals for the first time and you haven't seen any YouTube playthroughs, because, you know, there's not many out there, so I'm gonna get famous! But there's not many YouTube playthroughs of this game, and not many people have played Sonic Rivals. You would assume that Knuckles would have his abilities that he's had in Sonic Advance, Sonic Advance 2, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Sonic Blast for the Game Gear. He's always been able to glide and climb walls. Well, not in Sonic Rivals. Again, in part 1, I complimented Silver because he was a Sonic clone, because he had Sonic gameplay. Like, generally when I pick up a Sonic game, I sort of expect to play like Sonic. At the same time, though, what I mean by Sonic gameplay is just the basic running, platforming, spin dashing thing, you know? Like, that's what I want with everybody, but everyone has, you know, unique abilities too, and Knuckles not being able to glide or climb walls is kind of disappointing. I actually remember I was going to play as him, and then I just did an air dash when I pushed the jump button again, and I was like, oh, well, that's kind of lame. You know, Knuckles, whether he's an idiot or not, he's actually a fun character regardless. You know, Sonic 3 and Knuckles is super fun to play as Knuckles, and I love playing as him. So anyone going into the Rival series expecting different abilities from all the characters, you know, like maybe Shadow can wall run or something, I don't know. That's not going to happen. Everyone controls the same, so even when you have a unique character like Knuckles, he's not going to be gliding or climbing walls, and that can be a tad disappointing, yes indeedy. So just in case you were going to pick up this game and play as Knuckles first, he's not going to be doing your favorite abilities, basically. But, yeah, Colosseum Highway Act 2 is pretty much over. Yeah! Knuckles wins! And then Shadow cried himself to sleep. Or got a migraine, apparently, according to that picture. Ugh, damn it. You're noticing constantly after every level, I keep picking up a new card. With that race, I just got a Cream the Rabbit card. The cards, some of them actually do things. This game has alternate costumes for every character. I think 3 per character. And every time you collect new cards, it's always random what card you get. Every time you replay a level, you're going to get a different card. I'm not sure if there are specific cards you get for playing specific challenges in the challenge mode. It always feels random to me every time I play it. Like, I'll just replay a level over and over again, and I seem to get different cards. During this playthrough, I actually unlocked new costume pieces, so it seems random to me. But generally, you know, some cards actually unlock costume pieces for your characters, and I'll probably talk about that later. Anywho, now it's the Egg Falcon! Yeah, the Egg Falcon. Anywho, the Egg Falcon, again, you're competing with your rival, have to hit him 6 times before the other guy. The gimmick with Egg Falcon is he's high above in the sky, so you have to reach the higher platforms as soon as you can. And he drops bombs below, and eventually his ship will dip down, and you want to jump into the beak, and that counts as a hit. That's it. He has all kinds of projectile bombs. He has regular bombs that just damage you. He has bombs that will literally shrink the platform and make it super small, making it that much harder to jump on it. He has ice bombs that will transform the platform into a block of ice. And it doesn't make you slip or slide. Oh no. It actually freezes you in a case of ice for a short period of time, just like the ice power-up. that is constantly in every level. So, you know, and every time you hit Eggman, you actually fall all the way back to the bottom. Like, even if you aim for the higher platforms, it just automatically sends you to the bottom, but not that it matters, because he's not going to be dipping down fast enough anyway. The Sonic Rivals boss fights, I think, are nothing too bad, you know. I never really find that the rivals get in the way all that much. I never feel like, oh man, if that stupid rival wasn't there, this fight would be so much simpler. Honestly, the AI on the rivals is, like, really dumb, so they're not the big threat. None of these bosses really kill you, even if they could, and I've never had it happen to me. I have 61 rings on me right now. When I get hit, I don't lose all those rings. And, even if I were killed, I just spawn back in the arena like 2 seconds later with no progress lost at all, you know? The boss fights in Sonic Rivals are really simple, really easy, and yeah, you're not going to have too much trouble with them. I never find the rival, like Shadow, what the hell's he doing? I don't know what he's doing, but I have 5 hits to his 2. And usually when I play this match, he doesn't have 2. So I was actually sucking in this match. This is me sucking at the Egg Falcon. Oh well, Knuckles wins. Eggman is blown up again. I like the Eggman aquarium statue in the middle. And yes, there are rankings as well. Do the rankings do anything? Nope. I mean, they, you know, make you proud of yourself and make you feel like a badass, surely. But, and if you get like a D or a C, then you just feel like crying yourself to sleep. But, sometimes the rankings can be, kind of random. I feel like I didn't earn that C rank in Part 1 when I took on Knuckles with Silver. Or I took on Sonic with Silver, I should say. That was bullshit. C rank? Did you see how good I was doing that level? Come on. Come on. It incorporates everything, like how many rings you collect, how many boosts you hit. Those are those dash pads that send you forward. So you don't just want to hit them because they make you run faster in the levels, but because they actually help and count towards your score, you know. For every boost pad you hit, you get like 500 points or something. You actually increase your rank by using the special gadgets that you find constantly throughout the levels, like the ice blocks, the electric rings, and all those things to hit your opponent, just using them, using your special abilities. You know, if you hit your rival, like homing attack him, kick him in the back, those all count towards your rank. Again, rankings don't matter, but if you're going to try going for S ranks, you know, these are all the things you have to keep in mind. Collect rings, hit your rival with special powers, hit your rival, period. Be fast, you know, because it still goes. You still get more points by how fast you go through everything. But anywho, now we're playing Sky Park again with Knuckles. I didn't plan my character choosing correctly. This is a Knuckles part, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, you'll find that most of the levels, although the backgrounds are vastly different, like, you know, 1 minute we were in a Colosseum type area, now we're in an amusement park with giant hot air balloons dedicated to Amy Rose and Tails, and there's even like a Dr. Eggman like light bright sign back there. And there's roller coaster, it's a roller coaster level, right? Generally, the levels don't feel that much different. I mean, they could have changed this to look like Green Hill Zone and it wouldn't really matter. There's no real crazy level gimmicks. You still have lots of vaulting. You still have lots of gadgets to pick up. I guess the one annoying thing about this level is that they have like these demon teddy bears that try and grab you and slow you down. I'm not kidding. Every now and then you come up to a stand and there's a row of pink teddy bears, but there's like one red teddy bear in the middle. There it is! It grabs Silver! It grabs Silver! If you run in front of where that red teddy bear is, he pops out, grabs you, and holds on to you for like 5 or 6 seconds, and then the other guy can race right by you. But generally, they always have like a line of rings in like a horseshoe fashion. Like now, see? I jumped over the red teddy bear because of those rings. And there you go. Now you know. Hey, Tails Balloon. As for gadgets, I've mentioned the ice block before. When you're in first place, you leave it behind, and when you're in second place, you shoot it forward, but generally it hits the opponent. It freezes them in a block of ice for like 2 or 5 seconds. And there's electric rings where if you're in second place, you just shoot this electric beam at your opponent. It'll eventually catch up to him and electrify him for a short period of time. Or if you're in first place, you actually drop electric rings everywhere you're going. And if he runs into any of those rings, well, then he gets shocked, you know. So it can be quite a devastating weapon if he has nowhere to go but forward. You have a bomb-type gadget that's pretty basic. It doesn't stun them, but it does damage them and stop them in their tracks, I guess. You have a fire shield where when you're in second place, all you do is you shoot fire at your opponent. But if you're in first place, it creates a fire shield around you so that you can take damage from any of your rivals like kicks or gadgets or whatever. You can basically take a free hit. It's a bubble, you know, only it's like a fire. It's like the fire shield, but you know, you don't get to zoom forward like you could in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, because that would be fun. But yeah, that's Sky Park. A rank, booyah. Would have got an S, but it's very random. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be meeting another playable character. Oh, there are 4 characters in the story mode, but there is actually a 5th one that you unlock for beating the game with everybody. And of course, it is Dr. Eggman's pride and joy. Oh, wait a minute. You're not making any sense, Eggman. Basically, Eggman, and this is actually a plot point you would not know if you've never played as Knuckles. If you played as Sonic, Shadow, or Silver, you would never know that every level that you're going to right now is actually Angel Island from the future. We're on Angel Island right now, but it's from the future. What? How is that possible? I don't know. Oh no, and Dr. Eggman's trapped Rouge into a card just when she knew something about Eggman too. Damn. Them's the breaks, Shadow. This little troublemaker has learned too much for her own good. But as I was saying, you probably just saw it because we just heard it with Knuckles, and here it is there. Dr. Eggman's pride and joy, the robotic Metal Sonic, is in Sonic Rivals. You can unlock him for the challenges and the multiplayer mode if you beat the game with everybody. And Metal Sonic, again, they all handle exactly the same, but Metal Sonic actually copies the special move of whoever he's fighting. So if he's fighting Sonic, he'll actually have a burst of speed. If he's fighting Shadow, he'll actually activate Chaos Control. If he's fighting Knuckles, he'll do a ground pound. And if he's fighting Silver, he uses Psychokinesis, etc., etc. But Metal Sonic is in the game. You can play as him after you beat the game with everybody. And, you know, that means there are 5 playable characters. And now you know. I remember this game was sort of the, like, oh good, Metal Sonic's back with Eggman kind of thing, because, like, at the end of Sonic Heroes, it was kind of ambiguous whether Metal Sonic was going to become an independent villain, or if Eggman was ever going to take him back, you know? Because, like, spoilers to Sonic Heroes, but at the end of the game it's revealed that Metal Sonic locks Eggman up in a prison and basically takes over his army in order to try and take over the world. But then he reverts back to his normal form and everything's all hunky-dory and... No, Metal Sonic's back with Eggman. Eggman's just gonna take it on a word of mouth that, you better not betray me again! We are in Sky Park. Sky Park is the only zone in the entire game that doesn't have a boss fight. I mean, this is literally the final part of Sky Park. So instead of giving us a boss fight, I guess they figured, hey, why don't we race Metal Sonic? That'll be the real challenge. So it's kind of similar to Sonic CD, where I had to race Metal Sonic to go save Amy. And to, you know, not get trapped in and killed by Eggman's laser. But, obviously, the completely different mechanics. I'm not constantly jumping over spikes, and he's not boosting ahead of me with this bullshit cheap little... you know, electricity boost move thing that he always did in Sonic CD. He's, again, just like everybody else. Except his special move is to do your special move. He's a copycat, basically. Also, if you've been paying attention to Sky Park Act 1 at all, You may notice that this level looks ridiculously similar, not because of the theme. Obviously, the theme's going to be the same. But no, even like the level design is pretty much exact, pretty much. Like there's a few differences here and there, like this little light platform timing puzzle right here. This is different, but this room was in Act 1, and a lot of it was in Act 1. So it's actually, I don't know if Sky Park was supposed to be like this really late edition, where like, they had like 5 or so zones, and they were like, oh man, this game's too short. Kids are gonna beat this too quick. We need to make another one. Okay, we'll make an amusement park level. Oh man, we need an Act 2. Just change it up a little bit. We need a boss fight. Just have him race Metal Sonic, you know? It feels like this game might have came in like really late because it's so similar. Like Act 1 and Act 2 are so similar, it doesn't have a boss fight. It feels like it was a rushed level, but I don't know. I didn't work at Backbone Entertainment when this game came out. I wouldn't know. I don't even read up on, you know, history of Sonic games. I don't know about the development of Sonic Rivals. Sonic Rivals is not the greatest Sonic game ever made, so I doubt that, you know, people go into interviews with the developers of Backbone to go like, that Sky Park level in Sonic Rivals, very interesting. Can you tell us about it? Because to a lot of people, Sonic Rivals is just that bland PSP game that, you know, some people might like, but overall was not the greatest Sonic game ever. And yeah. In case you haven't been following the story, basically Silver seems to think that Eggman's camera is too advanced for this time period. The technology is from the future, and Silver's from the future, so what's up with that? And Rouge knew a secret about Eggman, but then he trapped her in a card, and now we'll never know what that is. And this is Angel Island from the future! What's going on? We'll get our answers in part 3. Hey, Storm the Albatross. Right on.
Ah! I'm an albatross! I'm an albatross! I'm flapping my albatross wings. Flapping my albatross wings.